Hello, friends, and welcome to The Architecture Enthusiast. Kazuo Shinohara's architectural philosophy stands as a singular and profoundly influential voice in the latter half of the 20th century, particularly within the Japanese context, yet with universal resonance. His work, primarily manifested in domestic structures, transcended mere functional design, elevating the house to a realm of pure art and conceptual inquiry. Shinohara was not interested in conventional comfort or programmatic efficiency as primary drivers. Instead, he relentlessly pursued an architecture of abstract beauty, rigorous geometry, and profound spatial tension. He saw the dwelling as a microcosm, a universe unto itself, capable of embodying complex ideas about human existence and the nature of space. If one were to ask Kazuo Shinohara, what is architecture? His answer would be a radical departure from mainstream functionalist or socially driven definitions. He would likely assert that architecture is the creation of independent, self-contained worlds, a profound act of artistic expression that challenges conventional notions of living and confronts the very essence of space. For Shinohara, architecture was not primarily about solving practical problems, but about posing fundamental questions. He would emphasize that true architecture is a conceptual endeavor, a rigorous intellectual pursuit that uses form, light, and material to articulate abstract ideas and evoke a deep, often unsettling, sense of beauty. He believed that the architect's role was to be an artist and a philosopher, crafting spaces that were not simply lived in, but experienced, contemplated, and even struggled with. In essence, for Shinohara, architecture was a pure art form, a powerful, abstract statement on existence, where the dwelling becomes a laboratory for exploring fundamental spatial relationships and the inherent beauty of tension and disorder. He would argue that architecture should provoke, challenge, and ultimately reveal a deeper truth about the human condition, rather than merely providing comfort or convenience. Shinohara's designs are fundamentally characterized by their extreme geometric purity and abstraction. He often reduced the dwelling to elemental forms, a stark cube, a simple prism, or a combination of basic volumes, devoid of extraneous ornamentation. This reductionist approach was not about minimalism for its own sake, but a deliberate effort to distill architecture to its absolute essence, allowing the raw power of geometry and the interplay of light and shadow to dominate. His early works, for instance, often explored the concept of a single, monumental space within the house, a central void or a grand, undivided room that defied typical domestic partitioning. This central space became the spiritual core of the dwelling, challenging conventional notions of privacy and function. He meticulously controlled the flow of light, often introducing dramatic, almost theatrical illumination into his interiors. Light was not merely for visibility, it was a sculptural element, defining volumes, highlighting textures, and creating a sense of dynamic change throughout the day. The interplay between bright, open areas and darker, more contemplative zones contributed to the complex spatial experience. Shinohara's evolution saw him grapple with increasing complexity and a deliberate introduction of chaos or disorder into his highly ordered geometric frameworks. This wasn't actual messiness, but a carefully controlled tension achieved through unexpected juxtapositions of materials, unconventional structural elements, or the insertion of seemingly incongruous forms within a rational grid. He sought a beauty of chaos that he believed reflected the inherent complexity and unpredictability of modern life, moving beyond a purely harmonious classicism to embrace a more dynamic and challenging aesthetic. This tension between order and disorder, between the abstract ideal and the concrete reality, became a defining characteristic of his later work. His relationship with traditional Japanese architecture was complex. While he rejected direct imitation of historical styles, his work often engaged with underlying principles of Japanese spatiality, such as the importance of the the void or interval, the integration of interior and exterior, and the aesthetic appreciation of raw materials. However, he reinterpreted these principles through a highly abstract and modern lens, stripping them of their conventional associations and pushing them into new, often confrontational territories. For example, his conceptualization of a central, undifferentiated space could be seen as an abstract reinterpretation of traditional open plans, but rendered with a starkness that was entirely his own. Shinohara's enduring influence on today's landscape architects. Kazuo Shinohara's influence on today's architecture, while perhaps not as immediately obvious in stylistic imitation, is profoundly felt in the conceptual underpinnings and philosophical approaches of many contemporary architects, particularly those who seek to push the boundaries of domestic architecture and spatial expression. His unwavering commitment to architecture as a pure art form and a conceptual endeavor has inspired generations of architects to view their practice as more than just problem-solving. This legacy encourages designers to explore philosophical questions through built form, to challenge conventional typologies, and to prioritize the experiential and intellectual dimensions of space over mere functionality. Architects who see the house as a laboratory for ideas, a microcosm for larger societal or existential inquiries, are undoubtedly influenced by Shinohara's pioneering stance. Furthermore, his rigorous exploration of geometric abstraction and the power of elemental forms continues to resonate. Many contemporary architects, especially those working in minimalist or abstract traditions, draw from Shinohara's ability to imbue simple volumes with profound meaning and emotional resonance. The idea that a building's impact can come from its stark purity, its massing, and its relationship to light, rather than applied decoration, is a direct inheritance from his work. Shinohara's deliberate introduction of chaos or disorder within a highly ordered framework has also been highly influential. This concept of creating tension and dynamism through unexpected juxtapositions, material contrasts, or spatial ambiguities is evident in the work of architects who seek to create complex, layered experiences that defy easy categorization. This approach allows for a richer, more nuanced spatial narrative, moving beyond simple harmony to embrace a more challenging and thought-provoking beauty. His meticulous attention to the manipulation of light as a sculptural and atmospheric element remains a powerful lesson. Contemporary architects continue to explore how light can define space, create mood, and reveal the inherent qualities of materials, often drawing inspiration from Shinohara's dramatic and precise choreography of illumination. Perhaps most significantly, Shinohara's work reinforced the notion of the house as a critical site for architectural experimentation. By treating each domestic project as a unique opportunity to test radical ideas about space, structure, and living, he elevated the status of residential architecture. This has encouraged subsequent generations of architects to use private commissions as laboratories for innovation, pushing the boundaries of what a dwelling can be and how it can contribute to broader architectural discourse. His influence is particularly strong among Japanese architects, many of whom have continued to explore themes of domesticity, abstraction, and the poetic dimension of space in highly original ways. In essence, Kazuo Shinohara provided a powerful and uncompromising vision of architecture as a profound intellectual and artistic pursuit. He demonstrated that even the most intimate dwelling could be a site for radical conceptual exploration, challenging prevailing norms and revealing a unique, often unsettling beauty. His legacy is not found in a widespread stylistic movement, but in the enduring power of his ideas to inspire architects to think deeply about the meaning of space, the role of abstraction, and the potential for architecture to transcend the mundane and become a truly profound art form. He remains a guiding light for those who seek to imbue their designs with conceptual rigor and an unyielding pursuit of architectural truth.